Well, hey there. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tamira of TamiraHamilton.com. I'm so excited to bring you today's video. I'm going to show you how I write and send out email broadcasts to my list. In a previous video, I have shown you how to put your email follow-up on autopilot, which is great for when you have a new subscriber. You want to make sure that you're communicating with them within those first few days of them subscribing to your list and you delivering your lead magnet. However, what I am not a fan of is what a lot of old school gurus will tell you to do is just write a bunch of emails, like months worth, and let those go out on autopilot. As I mentioned in a previous video, that is actually a great way to lose people because you just don't really connect with people when you're writing to them in the moment, day by day. Now, I'm also not saying that you need to email your list every single day. It's up to you to figure out the pattern of how often and frequently you email your list. And for all of that information, you want to go to two resources I've created for you. The first is my blog post, The 5 Indispensable Components of an Effective Email Marketing Campaign, and I'm going to link that below in the description box. Next, if you are looking for information on how to put your email on autopilot, I did a great video on that I'm going to link below in the description box. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up in this card as well as a suggested video for you to go ahead and click on. It's perfectly okay if you pause this video right here and go back and check out those two resources and come back. Now, what we're going to do is go ahead and flip the screen and get started writing this email. We're getting into the tutorial. I'm going to explain to you the platform that we're going to use, and that is Constant Contact. I choose Constant Contact for this email tutorial because a lot of my clients use it, and I think it's a great way to get started with email marketing because they have so many design templates for you. They also make it very easy with the drag and drop features, and they have support in case you get stuck by either chat or phone. Now, if you're following these tutorials and the advice that I give you, you probably won't need support unless you're doing some more advanced things like setting up your own really ultra designed HTML templates and things like that, which I actually kind of advise against unless you're in certain industries. Speaking of certain industries, Constant Contact also has integrations with Shopify, with WooCommerce, with Facebook for lead generation as well as advertising. They also have just more integrations, and I really like that. And some other cool features that I'm going to share as we begin writing our email. We're going to go ahead and get started writing this email, and I like to get started over in Google Docs and then copy and paste over into the email. I definitely suggest that when you're getting started because regardless of whether it's Constant Contact or other platforms, writing the email right inside of the platform can be a little tricky if you're used to writing things in either Google Docs, Microsoft Word, or even the plain text app. So I like to write it and then transfer it over just because it saves me a little bit of time. So I have a folder, and this is just the title, so I know, and then I can make sure it matches up with what's in the subject line and Constant Contact. So we're going to get started, and the first thing I like to do is decide which list I'm going to send it to, and I'm going to send it to my general active list. And what I'm sending is a recent YouTube video. So we're going to go over to YouTube, and we are going to get the link for that. So I always right click on the video. Well, I opened it up, so that means it's probably going to want to start for us. And I just want to grab that link real quick, and I'm actually going to shut that down before it starts talking and come back over here. And that is the video that we are going to be sending to the list. There we go. And the subject line is going to be first name, comma, did you see this? Now, I know some people like to, you know, try and keep it like they would actually, I do write my emails as if I'm actually writing a friend. And the type of person I am and my personality is the subject line would be case sensitive. For some people, it wouldn't be. It's up to you to decide. I really don't think that truly makes a difference. What's most important is that it looks like it came from a friend. And getting an email from a friend that says, Tamira, did you see this? I would definitely open that up. whether regardless of if it were case sensitive or not. So we've got the subject line, and while we're speaking of subject lines, if you go back to that blog post that I mentioned earlier, that's below in the description box on the 5 indispensable components of an effective email marketing campaign, it walks you through tools to help you create great subject lines. What makes this a great subject line is that it is a question, and also that it is personalized. Like I said, Tamira, did you see this? I personally would definitely open that up because that does look and sound like something I would receive from a friend, and that I would also send to a friend. Also, just a little bit more into why I'm using Google Docs is because I don't use a lot of the templates. I will do an video tutorial on using the templates, especially if you're in e-commerce. But if you're more in a service-based industry, if you're a coach, a consultant, an author, I really think staying away from those templates and really using kind of like a plain text, like you're writing an email to a friend, is the way to go. But if you're more e-commerce, more retail driven, I do see where those templates are great. Okay, so I always like to start with their first name and comma. Actually, I typically say, hey, first name, and I tend to know the formatting here. Hey, first name, comma. Okay, so I decided to step away for a moment just because it was really awkward for me to record and type at the same time. So what I did was went ahead and wrote the email out, and let's walk through it right now. Okay, so one of the things you will see is I increase the font size. I do tend to use a bigger font size, around 16 to 18 in my emails, just because people are reading it on a mobile device, which is already smaller. And in case people are older and their eyes are more strained or whatever, I just like to make the email as easy to read as possible. That's the other thing that you'll see is there is a lot of white space, and I try to make the lines a little bit shorter, just because, again, if you go back and you check out that blog post, I talk about it there and making, the email mobile responsive. So go back and check that out. So let's go through this email. So we got the subject line, hey, first name, or first name, did you see this? And then we open the email, hey, first name. Here's where you can do your little bit of personal branding, right? Some people say, hey, it's Tamira. I used to do that, and now I just switched it, and it's just hey and their first name. I always address them by their first name, and I do collect the first name for this reason, so that I can make the email very, very personal. Now, you see that I also used it in the subject line. I do not recommend that you do that all the time. That can really kind of make you kind of spammy, or not even spammy. It can make it lose its punch, I should say. So I use that, I won't say sparingly, but I use it not even cautiously. I use it with intention. That's what I want to say, okay? So in this email, I'm keeping it more shorter and direct and to the punch. Every now and then I do send out a little bit longer email where I am telling a story. What I have found is longer emails should be kept to a minimum, and you don't want to do too many of them in a row because people will stop opening them. I noticed that as I was doing more longer emails that my open rate and click-through rates were going down. So I started getting more right to the point and shorter because people are on the go and they're on their mobile device. And so what happened is I started shortening the emails and really focused on getting them over to content, because think about it, you might be reading the email on your phone on your lunch break. I remember I used to do that sitting in my car, right, or at the lunch table, or at wherever you're having lunch, and then you might not go back and click on the link until later in the day after you've gotten off of work and gone to the gym and gotten the kids in bed and all of that kind of thing. So I like to keep the email shorter, direct them to where I want them to go to get the content, because I understand who it is I serve and what their ideal day is like. So again, keeping it shorter and to the point, I get right to it. I just released a new video on YouTube, and this has been an ongoing conversation. You're just now seeing this in this video if you're not on my list, but this has been an ongoing conversation that it has, been talked about in some previous emails, and very recently how I'm growing my YouTube channel. So they know that I'm going to be emailing them pretty regularly with my content. And I find that my YouTube videos are going up because I send it out to my email list, as well as my social media engagement goes up, or when I announce a live video and things like that, it goes up because I'm leveraging the fact that I've been building this list, and I do suggest that you do the same thing. So I just released a new video on YouTube. Another thing that I've learned is to get a link above the fold. Get a link in there. Do not wait until the end of the email and put a link. Get a link in there as early as it makes sense in the email, and that increased my click-through rate. I'm going to share something else that increased my click-through rate, okay? I will tell you all about it in a second, but first wanted to remind you of the YouTube giveaway contest first. Again, I'm reminding, so this is a conversation. This is a series. This is something that is ongoing and not just a one time, okay? So I like to link my emails together by reminding them of what I talked about in my most recent email. And if they by chance didn't open or read that email, now they know to go back and look for it. I used to link to the email, but it doesn't help my open rate if I do that. I want them to go back in their email box and have to look for it, not because I want to generate more work, but because I want to get that open rate. And also now they know to open my emails more regularly than what they may have been, because they don't want to miss anything. And so now I'm going to give them the details of the contest right away. I'm not going to make them wait until the end. Enter to win a pre-designed website of your choice. But what I'm not going to do is go back through all of the details on that pre-designed website. To learn how to enter and also see the websites you can choose from as the winner, click the link below, okay? So 2 things here. You want to direct people. I found that if I didn't say click the link below, people didn't click the link below. So you got to put that call to action in there. Your call to action is just telling people what to do. And one of the things when you first start building your email list is you want people to click your link. You want them to get used to clicking your link and feeling it's safe and okay to click your link. So 2 things to make that happen. Number 1, tell them to click your link, or ask them to click your link, okay? It's okay to be direct. And the second thing is I found that my click-through rate doubled when I actually put the link in there, and exactly, they can see exactly where they're going versus, you know, hyperlinking click the link, okay? So I put the actual link in there and I hyperlink it. It's so important that you hyperlink the actual link, because if you don't, what happens is not all email platforms are going to hyperlink it, and you got to make it easy for people to get to your content and do business with you. So what I mean by that is if they have to copy and paste that link over, you're pretty much dead in the water. They're not going to do that. So you got to make it a clickable link, okay? And now bonus, okay? Some people say that's a word that you should avoid because it can sound spammy, but I haven't had any problems with my emails getting read. And where they're coming from is the platforms like Google and Yahoo are actually like, just like how the Google spider crawls your website, they crawl your emails. And when there's certain words, or there's an abundance or a certain amount of certain words, you kind of get flagged as spam. I know for a fact that this email will end up in the actual inbox and not in the promotional folder on Gmail, because it's a recycled email, just, you know, customized to be more present for today, okay? So bonus, when you watch, like, and comment on my newest video, Constant Contact Autoresponder Series Step-by-Step Tutorial, each action will count as a double entry, okay? And then it's, again, instead of hyperlinking that video title, I actually have the video link down below. And here I'm going to say, click below to watch the video and get double entry. Okay, again, you got to keep telling people what to do, because if you don't, they're just not going to do it. This video will show you how to set your email follow-up on autopilot. Talk soon. Now, I like to do a couple things with my emails, okay? Number 1, in my closing, I, again, kind of brand myself. I end my emails pretty much the same way. Talk soon. I'm letting you know I'm going to be emailing you again, and I'm going to be emailing you again soon. Because if I don't, then you're going to forget about me, okay? And the other thing I like to do is have a link to whatever it is I am focused on at that time that is free content, okay? Or a lead magnet. And I suggest that you do the same thing too. So for example, if someone got on your list for lead magnet A, or you have a new lead magnet that has come out very recently and the vast majority of your list does not have signed up for that lead magnet, you can link to that. So I want to grow my YouTube channel. So every single email that goes out from me, it has click to link my latest free video training. Okay. We're back in constant contact. We click the yellow create button and we're going to choose email. We've already done another video on email automation. And today we're setting up an email broadcast. Here is where the templates are. And we are going to choose a blank template, but I'm going to scroll just so you can see they have a lot of great templates. Again, unless you are a real estate agent, and even then, I probably wouldn't do too heavy of a template. One of the things with templates, as I talked about in another video, is that they can really make your email very heavy on the server. So you want to keep those to a minimum. Plus, like I said, you want to make it look like it is coming from a friend. So the first thing you do is you click on the header of the email so that you can set up the subject line, the pre-heading. The pre-heading is something that I have found that actually helps increase people opening your email, because what you're showing is a little example of what's in the email, and that's where you pique curiosity even more beyond the subject line and make people want to open the email. Okay. And then you always want to, like I said in another email, use an actual name instead of a, you know, from TamiraHamilton.com. Tamira Hamilton is much better than that. Okay. And this is an image, and we're going to delete that. And we're going to come over here and we're going to move text. So we're going to copy and paste this all over. Okay. So I'm going to highlight this because I think I must have been a little bit off. And we're going to put in a greeting tag. Hello, first name. I always get confused on my brackets, okay? And we can see that the hyperlinking copied over. Now we just want to put in some more spaces because the spaces didn't transfer. It's so much easier though to do it this way than to write directly in the actual email. And we want to kill the link on all of this. So I've picked an email name on my list so that you can see what it's going to look like when they get it. And now we're going to click to enter an email, which is my Gmail, to send a test email to. And I should also note that this was under click and preview, and this is the send test email. Okay. And I'm sending that. So once you've done the preview and you've sent your test email, which I sent, and when I checked the test email, I went through and made sure to read through for errors. Sometimes I have to actually have someone else check the email because I'm a speed reader and a skimmer, so sometimes I miss small grammatical errors. My true diehard fans don't care, but you just want to make sure, especially with newer people on your list, that, and I need to do a better job of that, of having someone else look at the email and proofread it. because every now and then, and more frequently than I like to admit, I do see small errors, but so far I don't know of many that have opted out of my list because of that. And you also want to go through and verify that all of the links work. There's nothing worse than sending an email and you lose opportunity with a lot of people if that link does not work the first time. My true diehards have let me know in the past. And actually, one of my top open emails was when I had to email my list back, and the subject line was, well, this is embarrassing. And a lot of people opened that email. So not saying that you should do that as a marketing strategy. Okay. So the first thing you do is you choose a list. And for this, I'm just going to say all. And you can see down here. And what you can do is you can send now or you can schedule for later. I typically send according to what I know are the best times to send email. So I would send this for tomorrow at 2 p.m. just because I know that that's a good time for my list. Okay. And then it does give you the option to get early results. I never do because they're useless. What I do love about Constant Contact, especially compared to some other platforms, is it will automatically resend to non-openers. And I like to do that within 3 days. That's the minimum that you can do it. You can't do it in 2 days. If you could, I would, but you can resend it within 3 days. And this is what it says. I like to say resending. Okay. And the email is all ready to go. So we'll go ahead and send that out. Now we've got your broadcast email scheduled and you know how to do that. You can schedule emails, especially when I know I'm going to be really busy. I will schedule emails for a few days ahead of time. At least, like say if I know there's going to be a full week that I'm going to be busy, I'm going to schedule 2 or 3 emails. I often will write my email at night like I just did and schedule it for the next day. I very rarely now just sit at my computer and type and send the email out just because of my schedule. It doesn't work well for me. But what I do, like I said, is I will schedule it ahead of time. Now, if you want to know how to set up in the actual email newsletter using those templates, like if you're more in e-commerce or more heavy retail of a business, like a brick and mortar retail business, then I will do that in the next video. So make sure that you click subscribe and that you turn on the notifications so you are aware when that video goes live, because sometimes I do record videos that are kind of urgent because they're time sensitive. Something may have happened in the world of social media. So make sure that you click the notification so you know when that video goes live. Also, if you want to get on my email list, because reading other people's email is how I got to be pretty good at email, is by being on other people's lists and paying attention to what they do and picking up some great tips along the way. So if you want to get on my email list, you can download the Essential Guide to Social Media Engagement and get the 8 pillars to becoming a social media rock star and stop posting to crickets. And the link for that will be below. God, I almost forgot. This is truly, I literally almost forgot. I was so focused on making a great video for you, I forgot to tell you that Constant Contact is giving you a 60-day free trial. I am partnered with Constant Contact. They reached out to me because I use them with a lot of clients. And I said, well, I'm already using them. Why not offer it to all of my audience? So if you click the link below in the description box or visit tamirahamilton.com/constant contact, you will get a free 60-day trial of everything you're learning in this video series. Also, I'm going to have 2 videos over here for you. So make sure that you check those out and click subscribe over here, as I mentioned before. And I will see you in the next video.